Hey coin lovers and treasure hunters. Welcome back to the channel where small coins lead to big discoveries. Today, we're diving into the pocket change time machine and taking a close look at a fascinating piece of American coin history, the 1978 1-cent Lincoln Liberty penny. At first glance, it might look like just another old penny. But stay with me, because this little copper coin could be worth more than you think. You'll be surprised to find out how this common coin has become a must-have among collectors and how it might just be hiding in your pocket, purse, or old coin jar right now. This humble penny, bearing the iconic profile of Abraham Lincoln, is more than just a cent. It tells a story of a nation, of transition, of craftsmanship, and of value that goes far beyond face value. So, how much is the 1978 Lincoln penny really worth today? And why are collectors willing to pay a premium for certain versions of it? Stick around, because we're about to uncover all the details from mint history, variations, errors, and grading, all the way to current market values. Segment number 1, the legacy of the Lincoln cent. Let's start with a bit of history. The Lincoln cent was introduced in 1909, replacing the Indian head penny. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first U.S. coin to feature the image of an actual person, the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. Over the years, the Lincoln cent has seen several design changes and metal composition adjustments, but its legacy has remained strong for over a century. Fast forward to 1978, a year that seems fairly modern, yet it's now almost 5 decades ago. In that year, the Lincoln Memorial design was still in place on the reverse, which had been introduced in 1959 to commemorate Lincoln's 150th birthday. The reverse was designed by Frank Gasparo, showing the Lincoln Memorial in remarkable detail, and if you look closely, you can actually see a tiny statue of Lincoln inside the memorial, a clever detail most people miss. Segment number 2, composition and mint info. Now, let's talk about the physical features of the 1978 penny. It's composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc. This matters because copper coins from this era have higher melt values compared to the post-1982 pennies, which are made mostly of zinc. Each 1978 penny weighs about 3.11 grams, slightly heavier than today's cents. In 1978, the Lincoln penny was minted at 3 U.S. mint facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. However, only the Denver and San Francisco coins carry mint marks. If your penny has a small d under the date, it was struck in Denver. If it has an S, it came from San Francisco. No mint mark means it was made in Philadelphia. In total, over 11 billion Lincoln cents were struck in 1978, which might sound like a lot. But here's the twist: certain coins from that year are much scarcer and high grade, and some even contain errors that can boost their value significantly. Segment number 3, hidden gems, valuable error pennies. Now here's where things get really interesting. Collectors love error coins. And the 1978 penny has a few exciting varieties to look out for. Some 1978 pennies show doubling in the date, or lettering, such as Liberty, or In God We Trust. These can be worth a lot, sometimes tens or even hundreds of dollars, depending on the clarity of the doubling and coin condition. If your penny was struck off center, it could be worth anywhere from $10 to over $100, depending on how much of the design is visible. If part of the penny is missing due to a clipped planchet error, that coin could also carry a nice premium. Look for a raised line between the B and E in Liberty. These are collectible die break errors that can increase the value of your coin. Segment number 4, coin condition, why grading matters. Now let's talk about something that makes a huge difference: condition. Grading is a system used to assess a coin's quality. A heavily circulated 1978 penny with scratches and wear might be worth just face value or a little more. But an uncirculated coin, especially one graded MS65 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, can sell for $5, $10, or even more. A top-grade specimen could even fetch over $100 at auction if there's something special about it. Segment number 5, current market value. So what is a 1978 Lincoln penny worth today? Most circulated 1978 pennies are still worth about 1 cent. Of course, they're common. But because of the copper content, they're sometimes sold in bulk for melt value or as collectible starter packs. That puts the average market value around 35 cents per coin when sold in nice condition to collectors or dealers. If you have a high-grade coin, or one with an error, that price shoots up dramatically. For example, a 1978 D Lincoln cent graded MS-67 red once sold for over $400 at auction. That's right, a single penny worth hundreds of dollars, just because of its condition and rarity. Segment number 6: Why you should care. So, why should you care about a 1978 penny? Because it proves that treasure is all around us. That change in your pocket might contain something far more valuable than just spending money. The 1978 penny represents the last few years of the high copper era. It's a coin from a time when quality control still allowed a few beautiful mistakes to slip through the cracks, and collectors today are eager to get their hands on them. The 1978 1-cent Liberty Lincoln penny may not make you rich overnight, but it's a shining example of how history, rarity, and condition come together to create value. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, this is one coin you'll want to watch for. And who knows? That coin in your change jar might be worth more than just 1 cent. So next time you see a 1978 penny, don't toss it aside. Flip it over. Check the date. Look for that mint mark. Examine it for errors. Because sometimes, even the smallest things can be worth a whole lot. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon so you never miss a new coin discovery. Share this video with your friends. You never know who might have a valuable penny in their pocket. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy collecting. Now, in Second History, we dive into the fascinating world of coins, currency, and hidden treasures that might be lying in your pocket right now. Now we're uncovering the story of a humble little coin that millions of us have seen, the 1975 1-cent Liberty Lincoln penny from the United States. Now, before you toss that penny into the change jar or ignore it because it seems worthless, you might want to hear this. That little coin could actually be worth a lot more than 1 cent. In fact, depending on a few key factors, it could be worth hundreds, yes, even thousands of times its face value. So buckle up, because we're going on a numismatic journey filled with history, secrets, collector insights, and tips that could help you spot a valuable treasure in your own collection. Let's get started. Part number 1: The history of the 1975 Lincoln penny. The Lincoln penny has a long and proud history. First introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, this was the first regular issue U.S. coin to feature a real historical person. The design was a big deal back then, and has since become an American icon. Fast forward to 1975. That year was smack in the middle of the Cold War, the aftermath of the Vietnam War, and the rising inflation that defined the decade. Gas was under $1, but a penny still had more purchasing power than it does today. The 1975 Lincoln penny was part of the Memorial Reverse series, which featured the Lincoln Memorial on the back, a design that ran from 1959 to 2008. The obverse, of course, showcases the right-facing bust of Abraham Lincoln with the words "I in God we trust" along the top, Liberty on the left, and the year 1975 on the right. Below Lincoln's bust, you'll see the tiny initials VDB. Those belong to the designer Victor David Brenner. Part number 2: How many were made MINTAGS. Now, let's talk numbers. In 1975, the U.S. Mint produced a massive quantity of pennies. Here's a quick breakdown. Philadelphia Mint, around 5.4 billion pennies were struck with no mint mark. Denver Mint, around 4.5 billion pennies were struck with the D mint mark. That's over 9.9 billion pennies total. Sounds like a lot, right? That's because it is. So how can a coin minted in the billions possibly be worth more than a cent? Well, here's where things get interesting. Part number 3: Why some are worth more. Most 1975 pennies you'll find in circulation today are only worth their face value, 1 cent. However, certain 1975 Lincoln pennies are worth significantly more based on 3 major factors: condition, errors, and rarity. Let's break these down. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. A coin graded MS-60 or higher, that's mint state, uncirculated condition, can fetch more than just a penny. If your 1975 penny has no scratches, no wear, no discoloration, and shines like new, it could be graded high, and collectors love high-grade examples. Some 1975 Lincoln pennies in MS-65 red condition, meaning they have original red mint luster, can sell for $10 to $20 or more depending on the buyer and demand. This is where the real money lies. If your 1975 penny has a minting error, it could be worth a small fortune. Examples of valuable mint errors include double die obverse, where Lincoln's features or the text appear doubled off center strikes, where the coin image is visibly misaligned clipped planchet, where a chunk of the coin is missing die cracks or cuds, where parts of the design are deformed or cracked. Some of these error coins from 1975 have sold for $50 to $300 or even more in auctions, even though billions were made. Pristine or unique error coins are scarce. As collectors search for perfect specimens or rare errors to complete their sets, the value rises. Coin collecting has grown in popularity, and this demand fuels the market. Part number 4, market value today. So what is the current market value of a 1975 Lincoln penny? Let's break it down simply. Circulated condition, about 1 cent to $0.03. Uncirculated MS60 to MS63, around 10 cents to $0.37. High-grade red coins MS65 or above can reach $10 to $25 plus. Error coins, $50 to $300, depending on the rarity and condition. Top-graded examples or rare varieties, these could go for several $100s or more at major auctions. And yes, we've seen cases where a 1975 Lincoln penny sold for nearly $1,000 because of a dramatic error and perfect condition. Part number 5, how to check if you have a valuable penny. So now you're probably wondering, how can I tell if my 1975 penny is special? Here's a simple checklist. Check the mint mark. No mint mark means Philadelphia. D means Denver. Look at the condition. Does it have that mint shine, or is it worn and dull? Search for errors. Use a magnifying glass and inspect the date, lettering, and edges carefully. Check for red luster. Red coins are the most desirable by collectors. If you think you have a high grade or error coin, you might want to send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. That can authenticate the coin and give it a certified grade, boosting its resale value significantly. Part number 6, fun facts and bonus tips. Before we wrap up, here are some fun facts about the Lincoln penny and why you should never overlook it. Copper content. 1975 pennies were made of 95% copper and 5% zinc. That makes their metal melt value around 2 to 3 cents, although melting US coins is illegal. They're disappearing. Many old copper pennies are being hoarded or lost, making high-quality ones even rarer over time. You might already own a gem. Sometimes those shiny coins and change or stuck in old jars are mint-state treasures waiting to be discovered. And here's one more bonus tip: coin roll hunting. That's when collectors buy rolls of pennies from banks and search them for rare dates, mint marks, or errors. It's fun, exciting, and yes, sometimes you strike gold. So there you have it, the story of the 1975 1-cent Liberty Lincoln penny. A coin that might seem ordinary at first glance, but could secretly be a valuable collector's item. Whether it's in your pocket, your coin jar, or hidden away in a drawer, it's worth taking a second look. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you never miss a chance to learn how your spare change could be worth way more than you think. And if you've found a 1975 penny with an error, or you've sold one for a surprising amount, drop your story in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy collecting! Have you ever walked past a penny on the ground and not bothered to pick it up? Well, what if I told you that one of those humble copper coins from 1981 might be worth much more than just 1 cent? Yes, you heard that right. Some 1981 Lincoln pennies are now selling for way more than their face value, even up to hundreds or thousands of dollars, depending on the variety, condition, and rarity. Stay tuned, because in this video, we're diving deep into the history, hidden value, and collector's secrets behind the 1981 1-cent Liberty Lincoln penny from the United States. You definitely don't want to miss this. Section 1A, brief history of the 1981 Lincoln penny. Let's rewind the clock back to 1981. This was the final full year the United States Mint produced Lincoln cents made primarily from 95% copper and 5% zinc before transitioning to a copper-coated zinc composition in 1982 due to rising copper prices. That means the 1981 penny marks the end of an era, a true relic of American coinage history. These coins were minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia no mint mark, Denver D, and San Francisco S4 proof coins. On the obverse or front of the coin, you'll see the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, a design that's been used on the penny since 1909. On the reverse, we have the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to commemorate Lincoln's 150th birthday. But don't let its ordinary appearance fool you. The 1981 penny is anything but average if you know what to look for. Section 2 Why some 1981 pennies are rare and valuable. Now here's where things get exciting. Although billions of these coins were minted, over 7.5 billion in Philadelphia alone, not all of them are created equal. Some specific versions of the 1981 penny are highly sought after by collectors and can fetch surprising prices in the coin market. So, what makes them valuable? Errors like double dies, off-center strikes, and die cracks can dramatically increase a coin's value. Some double die obverse DDO varieties from 1981 show clear doubling on the inscriptions Liberty, or In God We Trust. If you come across one of these, you're in luck. The 1981 S-proof pennies minted in San Francisco were struck with extra care and have a mirror-like finish. But even among those, there are two types, Type 1 and Type 2 proofs. Type 2, which has a clearer and more refined S mint mark, is rarer and more desirable. Grading is key. A penny in mint state MS65 or higher can be worth significantly more than a circulated one. Collectors and investors are willing to pay a premium for coins with flawless surfaces, strong luster, and sharp details. Each 1981 penny contains nearly 2.5 grams of copper, which alone makes it worth more than face value. At today's metal prices, its melt value is around $0.032, already more than 3 times its face value. Section 3 Current market value in 2025. Let's talk money. How much is a 1981 Lincoln penny worth right now in 2025? A circulated 1981 penny typically sells for about 3 cents to 10 cents. An uncirculated or near-perfect coin graded MS65 can be worth 30 cents to $2 or more. A 1981D in MS67 condition can fetch $40 to $60 at auction. A 1981 S-Type 2 proof penny in PR70 deep cameo condition, that could be worth $500 or more depending on the demand and grade population. Rare era coins like a 1981 double die can go for hundreds or even thousands at auctions or through private collectors. So yes, if you've got a sharp eye and a magnifying glass, that little copper coin in your drawer could be a mini jackpot. Section 4 How to spot a valuable 1981 PNNY. Now you're probably wondering, how do I know if my 1981 penny is worth anything? Here's a checklist. Check the mint mark. No mint mark means it's from Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for proof coins from San Francisco. Inspect the condition. Less wear and tear means more value. Use a magnifying glass to look for doubling in the letters and numbers. Weigh your coin. A genuine 1981 copper penny should weigh 3.11 grams. If it's much lighter, it might be a zinc coin struck by mistake, a potential rarity. Consider getting your coin graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC if you believe it's in mint state or has a rare error. Section 5 Tips for collectors and SELLERS. If you're a collector, keep your coins in a dry, cool place in protective holders to avoid damage. Join online coin communities and forums to learn from others and track market trends. Stay updated on copper prices. When copper spikes, your penny collection becomes even more valuable. If you're looking to sell, eBay, Etsy, and coin shows are great places to start. Always include clear photos of both sides, especially the mint mark and date. Get your coin appraised or certified if you believe it's special. That makes buyers much more confident. So there you have it, the story of the 1981 1-cent Liberty Lincoln penny, a simple coin with a rich history and surprising potential value. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just getting started, these small treasures from the past can lead to big rewards today. Make sure to check your pocket change, piggy banks, and old jars. You never know, you might be holding on to a rare gem worth much more than 1 cent. If you found this video helpful or entertaining, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more awesome coin videos like this one. Drop a comment below if you have a 1981 penny or want help identifying a coin. I'd love to hear your story. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy hunting and may your pennies always shine. Have you ever walked past a penny on the ground and thought, it's just 1 cent? Well, after this video, you might never look at a penny the same way again. Especially not the 1981 D Lincoln cent. That tiny copper coin in your pocket, purse, or coin jar might just be worth a whole lot more than you ever imagined. Because today, we're diving deep into the story of the 1981 D Liberty Lincoln penny. We're not just talking about its shiny copper face or its tiny monetary value. We're talking history, rarity, secret errors, collector demand, and yes, the real-world market value that might surprise you. So buckle up and stay with me because we're about to uncover why this little coin is making big waves in the world of coin collectors. Let's start from the beginning. The 1981 D Lincoln cent was minted in Denver, as shown by the small D mint mark under the date. That year, the Denver Mint struck a staggering 5.3 billion Lincoln cents. Yes, that's billion with a B. But here's the twist: just because a coin was made in massive numbers doesn't mean every one of them is the same. In 1981, the U.S. Mint was going through a major transformation. That was the last full year the Lincoln penny was made from 95% copper and 5% zinc before the switch to a cheaper copper-plated zinc composition in 1982. That means 1981 coins like the D Mint penny are made of solid copper, and that matters, both historically and in terms of melt value. But before we talk prices, let's talk design. The coin features Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, designed by Victor David Brenner. His portrait has been on the obverse or the front of the penny since 1909, making it the longest-running design in U.S. coinage history. On the reverse, we see the Lincoln Memorial, added in 1959 to celebrate Lincoln's 150th birthday. And if you look closely, you can even see the tiny statue of Lincoln inside the memorial, a beautiful detail that often goes unnoticed. Now let's talk about condition. Most 1981 D pennies in your pocket change are what collectors call circulated. They've been handled, dropped, scratched, worn down. But in uncirculated or mint state condition, that's where the real value starts to shine. Grading plays a massive role here. A penny graded MS65 or higher, with full original luster and no wear, is highly sought after. Let me break down what that means. MS, or mint state, is a scale from 60 to 70. An MS60 coin is uncirculated but may have marks or dullness. An MS65 coin is sharp, clean, and has strong visual appeal. And an MS70 coin, well, that's perfection, a flawless specimen with mirror-like surfaces. Nearly impossible for a coin that's been around for over 40 years. Now here's the part you've been waiting for: the value. A 1981 D penny in average condition is worth 1 cent sure. But if you find one in uncirculated, mint condition, especially if it's been graded and slabbed by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC, it could be worth much more. Right now, the market value for a 1981 D Lincoln penny in MS65 red condition is around 31 cents. Yes, that's over 30 times its face value. And it gets better. In higher grades, like MS67 or higher, some examples have sold for $100 or more at auctions. That's right, 1 cent turning into $100. That's some serious upside for a tiny copper coin. And that's not even considering error coins. Oh yes, this is where things get really exciting. Some 1981 D pennies have fascinating mint errors that can make them extremely valuable. Look out for things like off-center strikes, double dies, die cracks, broad strikes, and even coins struck on the wrong planchet. These types of errors can multiply the value sometimes into the hundreds, or even thousands of dollars. So how do you find out if your 1981 D penny is worth more than 1 cent? Here's what you need to do. 1. Check the condition. If it looks brand new, shiny, and has no scratches or wear, you may have a valuable coin. 2. Use a magnifier. Look for doubling, errors, and small details that might hint at a rare variety. 3. Weigh it. A true 1981 D copper penny should weigh around 3.11 grams. If it's lighter, you may have a rare zinc transition planchet. 4. Compare with known auction records. Websites like PCGS, NGC, or Heritage Auctions often have examples of top-selling coins and their prices. 5. Get it graded. If it looks promising, send it to a professional grading service for authentication and certification. Let's not forget the historical importance of this coin. The 1981 D penny is the end of an era. After 1982, rising copper prices forced the U.S. Mint to abandon the original composition that had defined the penny since 1909. That makes this coin a relic of American economic history. So what should you do now? Go check your piggy banks. Look through your pocket change. Ask your family members if they've got old jars of coins lying around. And keep your eyes peeled for any 1981 Lincoln cents that look extra special. Because hidden in those piles of pennies could be a little copper coin worth a whole lot more than just 1 cent. And hey, if you enjoyed learning about the fascinating story behind the 1981 Lincoln penny, hit that like button, subscribe, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss another video on rare and valuable coins. We've got more hidden gems coming up, from $1 million pennies to silver nickels you never knew you had. Until next time, happy collecting, and remember, every coin has a story, and some are worth a fortune. Are you sitting on a small fortune without even knowing it? That old penny rattling around in your coin jar, or tucked away in an old drawer, could it be a hidden treasure? Today, we're diving deep into one of the most mysterious and valuable coins in American pocket change history, the 1982 1-cent Liberty Lincoln penny from the United States. Don't blink, because by the end of this video, you might be rushing to check your spare change. Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel where we explore the fascinating world of coins, currency, and collectibles. If you're a coin collector, hobbyist, or just someone who's curious if they might be holding on to something valuable, hit that like button and subscribe, because today's episode could seriously blow your mind. Now, let's talk about the 1982 Lincoln cent. It might look small, dull, and unimportant, but this little coin has a big story filled with history, controversy, and surprise value. Let's jump into the details. Segment 1. The story behind the 1982 Lincoln penny. To understand why the 1982 penny is so important, we need to go back in time. Since 1909, the Lincoln cent has been one of the most iconic coins in American history. It was first minted to commemorate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor D. Brenner, the Lincoln cent featured a simple yet powerful image of Lincoln on the obverse, or front, and for many years, 2 wheat stalks on the reverse. Fast forward to 1959, the reverse was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., and this version continued all the way into the early 2000s. But in 1982, something huge happened. Due to rising copper prices, the U.S. Mint made a critical decision. They changed the composition of the Lincoln cent. Prior to 1982, pennies were made of 95% copper and 5% zinc. But starting in 1982, they began making them out of 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper with a thin copper coating. This decision changed everything, and as a result, 1982 is one of the most complex and fascinating years for penny collectors. Segment 2. Why 1982 is so special. Here's the wild part. During this transition, the U.S. Mint didn't just stop production one day and start using the new metal the next. Nope. They created both types of pennies in the same year, copper and zinc. Even more confusing, they made them in 7 different variations. Yes, 7 different versions of the 1982 Lincoln cent exist. They come in different compositions, sizes, and mint marks. Let's break them down. 1. 1982 large date copper. 2. 1982 small date copper. 3. 1982 large date zinc. 4. 1982 small date zinc. 5. 1982D large date copper. 6. 1982D large date zinc. 7. 1982D small date zinc. Wait, did you catch that? Only 6 of these were supposed to exist. But one of them, the 1982D small date copper cent, wasn't supposed to be made at all. Only zinc cents with a small date were minted in Denver. Or so we thought. But then, in 2016, a man named Paul Malone discovered a 1982D small date copper penny, and it shocked the numismatic world. Segment 3. Hidden treasure. The 1982D small date copper cent. Paul's discovery turned out to be a once-in-a-lifetime find. His coin was confirmed to weigh 3.1 grams, meaning it was solid copper. Yet it had the small date design and the Denver mint mark, a combination previously unknown, and the value, over $18,000. Yes, one small brown penny that most people would overlook turned out to be worth more than a brand new car. Since then, only a few more examples have been confirmed to exist. making this version one of the rarest modern coins in circulation. So if you think it's impossible to find something valuable in your loose change, think again. Segment 4. How to tell if you have a valuable 1982 penny. So how do you know if your 1982 penny is worth big bucks? First, check the date and the min mark. Is there a small or large date? Look closely. Small dates are slightly more rounded and appear more delicate. The 2 and 8 will look different from the large date version. Next, you'll need a scale. Copper pennies weigh 3.1 grams, while zinc pennies weigh only 2.5 grams. That tiny difference can mean hundreds or even thousands of dollars. If you have a 1982 small date penny that weighs 3.1 grams, congratulations, you may have struck gold, or rather, copper. Even if you don't have that specific variety, some 1982 copper or zinc pennies still carry collector interest. In excellent uncirculated condition, some of them can sell for 30 cents to $3 or more, depending on rarity, condition, and demand. Segment 5. Current market value and why collectors love it now. The average circulated 1982 penny might fetch 30 cents, especially the copper ones. That's already 30x its face value. But if your penny is uncirculated, it could be worth even more. MS65 grade copper pennies from 1982 often sell for $1 to $5, and some extremely rare varieties can go much higher. Collectors love the 1982 series because it's a year full of mystery, transition, and hidden treasures. It's a true coin hunter's dream. Segment 6. Final tips and what to do if you think you have one. If you think you found a valuable 1982 penny, here's what you should do. 1. Don't clean it. Cleaning a coin can destroy its value. 2. Weigh it carefully. 3. Compare the date, style, small or large. 4. Look for a min mark, especially that elusive D4 Denver. 5. Take clear photos and consider sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. If verified, your penny could become a key part of U.S. coin history. Who knew that a simple copper coin could hold so much history, mystery, and potential value? The 1982 Lincoln penny proves that sometimes, the smallest things can carry the biggest surprises. So check your pocket change, dig through your drawers, and take a second look at that old coin jar, because buried inside just might be a treasure worth far more than just 1 cent. If you found this video helpful or interesting, smash that like button, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more amazing coin facts, stories, and values. Drop a comment if you found a 1982 penny in your collection. You never know who might help you identify it. Thanks for watching, and remember, every coin has a story. What will yours be? Are you sitting on a small fortune and don't even know it? What if I told you that a simple penny, yes, just 1 cent, could actually be worth way more than its face value? I'm talking about the legendary 1982 Lincoln 1 cent Liberty penny from the United States. This tiny coin in your pocket or an old jar might just surprise you. In this video, we're diving deep into the hidden value, rich history, and collector buzz around this 1982 penny that's now being sold for way more than you'd expect. Stay with me because this story is full of copper, mystery, and money. Part 1. History of the 1982 Lincoln penny. Let's rewind the clock to the early 1980s. The year is 1982. Ronald Reagan is president. MTV has just launched. And the cost of copper is skyrocketing. At this point, the US Mint is facing a serious issue. It costs more to produce a 1 cent coin than the coin itself is worth. Up until 1982, US 1 cent coins known as Lincoln cents or Lincoln Memorial pennies were made mostly of 95% copper and 5% zinc. But due to rising metal prices, the US Treasury made a major decision that would change coin history forever. In mid-1982, they transitioned to using a new composition, 97.5% zinc and just 2.5% copper plating. That's right, your penny was no longer made of mostly copper. Instead, it was now just a zinc coin with a thin copper coat. Now here's where it gets really interesting. 1982 became a transition year. That means both copper and zinc versions of the penny were made that year. To make things more confusing, there were 7 different varieties of 1982 pennies, yes, 7. And among those varieties, there was one in particular that stood out, and that's the 1982 Lincoln cent minted in Denver, The 1982 D coins were supposed to be made from the new zinc composition. But a few very rare 1982 D pennies were accidentally struck on leftover copper planchets, creating a modern-day treasure hunt for coin collectors around the world. Part 2: What makes the 1982 D penny so special? So why is the 1982 D penny attracting so much attention in the coin market today? First off, most 1982 D pennies are zinc. But a tiny handful so rare you could count them on your fingers were minted in copper by mistake. These era coins are now incredibly sought after, with some fetching thousands of dollars at auction. But even the regular 1982 D penny made of zinc has collectible interest, especially if it's in pristine condition, known as mint state or uncirculated. That means no scratches, no wear, and still showing the full details of Lincoln's face, hair, and the word liberty clearly. The 1982 D small date zinc penny is one that collectors love to search for. It's one of the 7 1982 varieties and has become part of the Ultimate Penny Collector's Challenge, finding all 7 types in great condition. Part 3: How to tell if you have a valuable 1982 D. Now you might be asking, how can I tell if my 1982 D penny is the rare copper version or the more common zinc one? Here's how to find out. Step 1. Weigh it. Use a precise digital scale that can read grams. A copper penny will weigh 3.11 grams. While a zinc penny will weigh 2.5 grams. If you find a 1982 D penny that weighs 3.11 grams, stop what you're doing. You might have a gold mine in your hands. Step 2. Check the date style. The 1982 coins come in 2 date styles: large date and small date. The small date version is rarer and generally more sought after in high grades. Look closely at the number 2 in the date. On the small date, it has a more delicate curve and sits higher than the large date. Step 3. Check the mint mark. The D mint mark under the date means it was minted in Denver. This is essential because the 1982 D copper penny error is only known to exist with the D mint mark. Part 4: Real market values and auction records. So let's talk money. Most 1982 D pennies in circulated condition, those that have been used and handled, are worth around 10 cents to 30 cents. With your average example selling for about 29 cents on coin marketplaces like eBay. However, if your coin is in mint state MS65 or higher, its value jumps significantly. You could easily get $5 to $20 for a high-grade specimen. And if your coin has the rare copper composition, then brace yourself, because you could be sitting on a 5-figure payday. In 2016, one 1982 D copper penny sold at auction for over $18,000. Yes, you heard that right. $18,000 for a penny. Collectors and investors alike are still searching for more of these rare copper D varieties. The mystery of how many actually exist keeps the market hot and prices climbing. Part 5: Final tips and what to do if you find one. So what should you do if you find a 1982 D penny that weighs 3.11 grams? Don't clean it. Don't alter it. Don't scratch it. Take it to a professional coin dealer or send it in to be graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. A certified grading and authentication can dramatically increase your coin's value and open doors to serious buyers. Also, keep an eye on other pennies from the early 1980s. The 1983, 1984 double die, and 1992 close AM pennies are also extremely valuable. The key is to stay curious and always inspect your change. So the next time you see a simple penny lying on the ground or sitting in your old piggy bank, think twice. Especially if it's from 1982 with a D under the date. It might be one of the rarest errors in recent US coin history. Let me know in the comments, do you have a 1982 D penny? What's the rarest coin you've ever found? If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss more exciting stories and hidden treasures in the world of coins and collectibles. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes 1 cent can be worth more than you ever imagined.